A very good evening to you and welcome to Curero, a platform where we dissect and analyze Nigerians' pressing political issues. My name is Godwin Sunday. Well, tonight we'll be looking at issues that borders on the insecurity across the country. And joining me to do this tonight is Professor Abubarka Ibrahim, and be helping us put these issues in perspective. Prof, good evening and welcome to Curero.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. It's a delight to have you once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Prof, let's even dive into the conversation right away. First, let's look at the various security architecture of the country right now. It tends to be that the rate of insecurity is rising even across board. But help us understand where are we when it has to do with tackling insecurity in the country right now?
You said the country security architecture, so we don't have a security architecture because we have not developed a template, we don't have a direction, we don't have a control, we don't have a management, not operational strategies. So how do you say you have an architecture when these are not in place? So the truth is that we don't have security architecture, but so the ongoing insecurity incidences continues. As a matter of what the placements are today, it continues.
But Prof, a lot of people would disagree with you at this point. It's the way you say that we don't have a security architecture in the country. We've seen what has played out over the weeks where we saw a lot of improvement in the operational dimension of the modus operandi of the security across board. You say we don't have an architecture, so how is the security agency, are the security agencies able to tackle all of this issue if there is actually no architecture?
The mindset is the wind of the game is what is blowing out. This is a political setting year, and everybody is looking for a vote. So the dynamics change to see that there is an improvement somewhere. But what happened next is what we are talking about.
So if I understand it correctly, Prof, you're saying at this point that all of the happenings in the country right now is not based on security architecture, but rather a political dynamics.
Yes, it's political dynamics.
All right. So, Prof, help us understand, looking at the subnationals in general, where we're seeing a lot of insecurity issues in Kwara State, a lot of insecurity issues in Borno and other parts of the country. Looking at all of this, where is Nigeria in the global rating for insecurity? Because we're looking at this old debate when it has to do with banditry. Where are we right now?
We are nowhere because the promoters and the people sustaining these issues has not been called to place. And definitely if you do your undercover system, you find out that we don't even have an undercover system. The intelligence gathering system is in abeyance. There is no substance to it. So when intelligence are not gathered, when false informations supersede the real informations, then you have a problem. It's a lacuna. So that is where we are today. Till the time we know that information's dissimulation is a substance to security process, then we will get it right. But for now, I'm afraid we continue to be where we are.
Interesting. Again, Prof, there is this debate which is making the rounds that the bandits should be given some form of amnesty. They should be reincorporated into the society and even allowed to become civil with their own activities. But looking at the whole banditry saga, where do you stand in this divide, Prof?
You see, we continue to do and we continue to make mistakes when we are talking of granting of amnesty. We have made a mistake by granting amnesty to the Niger Delta militants because we did not respect the security protocol that accept amnesty or enact amnesty. Are we going to go into that again by granting amnesty blindly, just as we have done in Niger Delta? Or we are going to follow the security protocol as enacted by law? So we are doing it the wrong way again. And when certain things are put into perspective and they are wrong, they are actually wrong because we are taking another wrong path, wrong directions. So you can't manage it as a substance.
So you're saying that amnesty is the wrong step in the right direction?
It's a very wrong step. There is no right direction to it.
So you at this point, giving the bandits pardon by way of even trying to address a certain level of insecurity is not the right step to take?
It's not the right step because you are only leading them to a post and they are navigating to another post.
But even the bandits are saying, give us amnesty or even grant us some form of pardon and watch us even
how many billions and trillions of naira has gone to Niger Delta amnesty? And what has that done to us? Are they still stealing our oil till tomorrow? The answer is yes. Are they still causing chaos in the Niger Delta region? Yes. So what have we achieved? Because we did not follow the official protocol. Are they saying that they have learned and they are going to follow the official protocol by now? No. So it's a misdirection of priorities.
All right. So if it was fair to the people of the Niger Delta region, granting them amnesty because of some form of crisis that we were able to create in that region. You're saying at this point that right now that the bandits and the ISIS and Boko Haram are creating some form of insecurity issues in the far north, they should not be looked into, and probably if we start paying them, they might not be thinking about even paying, will not be thinking of paying ransom if they get some stipends, or you don't share in this opinion.
Let's look down to the history when people like Gani Adams started Odua People's Congress, OPC, in the Southwest, which has some security form of negotiation before we went into the Niger Delta militants. The swinging from the Niger Delta militants to the capturing of by Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast, the move from the northeast, the dynamic move to the northwest, and now to the north central. And you look at the Biafra agitation, how many people are you actually going to give amnesty to? Because it's a spread, a wind that has blown all over, and nobody has actually think out of the box to say, why did it spring from this point to this other point, and why is it here today? And what do we do to contain it? All we are hearing now is amnesty. So you are granting the amnesty to who? And for what purpose? So we are criminalizing that kind of institutions. And we are aiding and abetting them without a definite ground and sustainable reason for discussing amnesty at this point. Who is going to reorient them? Who is going to sensitize them? How many education of psychologists do we have in place that will give them human development psychology and change their orientation? So there are so many things you have to look at. Who has been financing them? What is the source of their arms and ammunitions? Who has been training them? So if we don't have all this documented, then why granting them amnesty? You should remember that in the case of Niger Delta, when you return one arm, they give you another 250,000. So people who brought 1,000 arms, how much is that? So that is where we are. And that is what we want to continue, because people are feeding through it. We have the Presidential Amnesty Office. What is their job? And how many people have become multimillionaires and billionaires in such offices in the name of amnesty? So we are not treading the path by security rules. We are not matured for what we are trying to do. Instead, we want to waste in a country that is already paralyzed.
Allegedly paralyzed, Prof.
We are paralyzed. Just don't put allegedly.
That's allegedly, because
how much is it?
We can't say authoritatively that Nigeria is paralyzed.
It's paralyzed. What was the safer compared to a naira before? What is the safer today?
Prof, those are economic dynamics.
What is the economic dynamics when your finances?
We can't say authoritatively that Nigeria is actually paralyzed.
Almost everybody in Nigeria who is justifiable, who is genuine, had been proven to be a poverty-ridden person. Because nobody is earning. Nobody is totally earning.
Well, Prof, let's leave that on one side. Let's even look at this fear by a lot of Nigerians right now, especially within the southwestern part of Nigeria, who are currently experiencing some form of insecurity, taking it down to Oyo State and down to Ogun State, Ekiti, and largely, although it's not central, which is Kwara State, so we've seen what has played out in the last couple of days in Kwara State. But judging by what is going on in this region, do you believe that political will is strong enough to confront this insecurity precisely, or decisively, I beg your pardon?
Yeah, political will one side, professionalism on the other side. Most of the trained political security details are just service members. They are not adequately grounded on security matters.
I didn't get that, Prof. What do you mean by they're not grounded? Can you help us understand that?
Security has to do with administration, management, operations, and control. So when the administrative arm is not grounded, the management is lacking, operations are lacking, what are you controlling? Projectively, the security arms has not gotten some of the adequate system applications to apply in conflict resolution and crisis management. So we linger on to look at things that are very little to our problems. So what comes in is everybody is vulnerable, looking for stomach infrastructure, but not looking for professionalism. Whether in the administrative cadre the management counter or the operational cadre, because we don't have the control units.
So invariably, you're saying right now that there's no decisive political will to address insecurity issues in the country.
When you say you are decisive, means that you know what you are doing in a given parameters of substance. But when you don't know what you are doing in a given parameters of substance, then you are not adequately built enough, mind enough to be decisive. And that is just the truth.
With all the millions and billions invested even in
can they tell us what they have spent this money on?
Ammunitions and all of this. I'm not holding brief for the government, but then the government have come out to say that they, of course, they are spending on ammunitions, acquisition, and training, and also manpower development.
So whose child you are acquiring ammunitions, arms and ammunition to kill who?
To defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria, Prof.
So are we in a external or foreign intrusion? Do we have any foreign intrusional body that we are fighting, that we are looking for arms and ammunitions? Do we? Are you fighting people who are paying you salary, whose tax and revenue pay you daily? Are that the people you want to kill? Do you kill the citizens because you are the leader, or you are supposed to be held responsible because you are the chief security officer for anything that has happened within your courtworks? So which one are we doing? So why are we buying arms and ammunition? To do what?
Well, Prof, you can't tell when there will be this break when it has to do with insecurity. So you can't authoritatively say that this is when you're going to experience some form of attack.
So why are you proposing to give those people who you know are enemies of the country amnesty, if you were not part of it?
So what would you recommend?
Not amnesty. Amnesty is not.
So should they be given some form of stipend in order to curtail some excesses?
That means the
level of kidnappings in the country is alarming. The level of insecurity in the country, in some part of the country right now, we understand that especially in Zamfara State, a lot of people pay bandits to go to their farms in Zamfara State and a few other states across the country.
I'm just hearing that from you.
Well, it's an intelligent report, but by the way, Prof. But then, looking at all of this, what we have in the country, if paying off bandits and giving them some form of stipends will ameliorate the insecurity issues, if paying them will actually help farmers to return back to the farm, what will you advise the government to do?
I want to ask you one question.
Although I'm the one asking the question, Prof.
Yes, but I'm going to answer you with a question. Well, what was the position of Gani Adams in 1999? And what was the position of Tom Ateke in 1999? What was the position of Asare Dokubo in 1999? What was the position of government Okpolokpo, who we call Tompolo, in 1999? What was the position of somebody like who they call Bolof in 1999? What was the position of people of that structure in 1999 to 2000? What are they today? They are all billionaires. Presumably billionaires. These are people who were granted amnesty. So who is benefiting from the amnesty today? Is it the man in the street or the people that were cohorted? What is the source of their wealth? So why do we glorify things that we are not supposed to glorify? Why? Are we having challenge with the mentality of the people, the psychological structure of the people, the elemental structure of the people? So which one do we have? So why the proposition of amnesty?
But Prof, if the payment of,
if this was
if the payments, Prof, if the payment of bandits, paying bandits, if identified bandits can further reduce the insecurity, you were saying that we shouldn't go that route, if I understand it correctly.
For now, yes, we shouldn't go that route,
And
because
at the detriment of people within this locality.
Who is the chief security officer of
Most
Zamfara State?
chief security officers are across board are overwhelmed with what is playing out.
Nothing is overwhelmed. It's just because
they are overwhelmed with what's playing out.
It's just
because the Plateau State governor was overwhelmed with
none of them were
taking it down to also look at
I will disagree with
and in Benue State, taking it down to other parts of the country. Most of the governors in this state didn't see all of this coming out. But if paying of bandits will further accelerate peace in this state, you're saying that we shouldn't go that route.
Yeah. Did you know why? How many people audit the security report, the security funds, the security votes? Are they audited? How is it spent? Has any governor sit down in Nigeria and said, this is the security structure or security architecture I have developed, and this is the security structure I have put in place to contain crimes in my state? And anybody object to it? Sometime last year, like Delta State and some other states came up with a launch of security funds. All those donations made running into billions of naira. What have they done? It's going into campaigns now, and nobody has any right to challenge them. So what have they done? What were they having in place that were making them ask for these funds as security funds for the states? And where are the funds? And who has questioned that authority? Who? Nobody. So why would you tell me that something happened in Yelwata and the governor is supposed to be held responsible?
Not the local government chairman at this point.
All put together. But the governor is the chief security officer of the state. When they came to Yelwata, they did not go to meet the local government chairman. They went to meet the governor. Any security organization or organ that went to visit Benue, even foreign bodies, went straight to the governor, not to the local government chairman. So what were those discussions held behind doors, closed doors, as they normally call it? So are you asking people to donate to security funds when the people don't know how the security funds are being spent? Are you asking people that you are spending security votes without any account for it?
So, Prof, so invariably, if paying of bandits will bring a lasting solution to peace within states prone to insecurity challenges, if I understand you correctly, Prof, you're saying we shouldn't go that route.
Are you telling me that when you see your boss take bribe once, 2 or 3 times, are you tempted to take one and nobody see you, and they are now saying that, let me be giving you 100 naira every day, and there is needs, wants, temptations around you, and you are not principled enough, and you have been used to that lifestyle, that you will not still collect? Is it possible? It's not possible. Why are there killings in Iraq and Libya up to tomorrow, even after the death of
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein? Why? Because the template built by these leaders cannot be provided as of today. So people are still ready to die as far as the weapons to death are available. That is exactly what is happening. Are some of these Niger Delta boys not still in the creek? Yes, they are still in the creek, operating like till tomorrow, because nobody dare stop them, because they are used to that mental structure. So where has the amnesty paid off? Has it paid off? So do we have a repeat of such? Look at the spread from the south-south to the northeast, to the northwest, to the north center, and it has round the country, whether we like it or not. It's a summary predicted issue. And no caution and precaution has been taken. And the elemental bodies who call themselves the security agencies has not been able to do anything.
Allegedly, Prof.
Because the substance of it is not there. It's not allegedly. I'm not accusing anybody. I've not called anybody's name.
Well, why you say the security architecture have not been able to do anything? Well,
there is no security architecture.
Why you say the security elements and components have not been able to
they have not been able to do anything. So what has been happening
of course,
all over the state? What have they done?
Of course, Nuru Ribadu, who is the special advisor to the president on security and also national security advisor, have come out to say that they are performing and they are doing explicitly well when it has to do.
Well, the performance does not match what is on the ground. You cannot have 10,000 blocks and a civil engineer is telling you that I have only erected 5 blocks and you said it's performing out of 1,000 blocks. How many people have died? And how many people have been arrested? How much has been collected as ransom? And how many people has been arrested for those ransom collected? Who are the perpetrators of these crimes? Can Nuhu Ribadu tell us that? No, he has no data. He has no figures. He has no element of administration of the office he's holding. He has no management classifications. He has no operational tactics and strategies. And he has no control, even as the chief security coordinator of the nation. So what is the element of performance? What are the indices? These are the things we have to talk about. Just as I always say, I am not here for anybody to give me any political portfolio. I don't need it. I don't need it for any reason.
But interesting, Prof. A lot of persons from the Christian proclivity and also the Islamic faithfuls, taking this to religious platforms right now, will say that this granting and paying of these bandits will further accelerate peace in these regions, and not granting some form of stipends to these bandits who are terrorizing their communities is further deepening the cracks even on insecurity issues. Just recently, we've seen a Catholic church being attacked just a few days ago by unknown gunmen, as the case as it were. But then looking at all of this from a religious perspective, wouldn't it be right to further advocate that these bandits and terrorists are given some form of stipend in order to further even calm them from kidnapping, on making kidnapping a reoccurring phenomenon and a common decimal factor even in Nigeria as it stands today?
That is where I've told you that we are not really going the directions we are supposed to go. So Nigeria owns no direction. Where was Christianity and Islam in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s? Why has religion been polluted, bringing Christianity, Christians and Muslims into loggerheads? Whereas the Constitution stated clearly that Nigeria is a secular state. So when a country is a secular state, where did this cry, this harmony, this affection comes from? Why has religion become the true song of a true Nigerian? If Nigeria is truly a secular state, why is it, how did it become a subject of discussion? That is because the apparatus that are supposed to synergize with these bodies are really not functional. People are not held accountable and responsible for the rules they play over the people and the service given to the people. So it's just like it says that all children of Israel, back to your tents.
Prof, it's getting interesting so far, looking at what is playing out in the country. You are advocating at this point, and you're saying that we're not ripe for this conversation. And also you say that psychologically, most of those persons are positioned to, even if you pay them, they are structured to understand that crime pays better, and they'll still go back. You've cited the case of Tompolo, 1999, and also some persons, if I get you correctly. Then also looking at the whole religious issues, you're saying right now that all of this playing out. But then my curiosity right now is centered on the fact that first, we have a high rising insecurity issues in the country. It's almost becoming a daily thing for some part of the country. Some local governments in the country as it stands right now, people are fleeing those local governments based on insecurities. I know a few communities where if you get to those communities today, you meet scattered homes and shattered homes, because most of those persons deliberately moved to IDP camps in order to stay alive and stay afloat. Prof, you have been able to peruse the security architecture of different countries, and by comparison, you want to understand the security dynamics of this country. Let's bring this back to Nigeria and try to even proffer some form of solution to the Nigerian challenge. If paying off bandits will further ameliorate the insecurity challenge, if paying off bandits will further ease off all of this insecurity in local government and ensure that local government, a lot of people in communities will be able to return back to their homes. If paying off bandits will will provide some form of lasting peace to cushion the effects of insecurity in the country. Prof, you're saying that the government should not toll this part, if I understand it correctly.
What you are telling me now is like armed robbers visiting me in my house, successfully rob and go. They come back again, they rob and go. And I had a meeting with the armed robbers and said, okay, don't come and rob me again. Now we are friends. I will be paying you monthly to stop robbing me. Would that stop them from robbing somebody else? Is that what you're telling me? That because armed robbers come to me, rob the first time, rob the second time, and now I have an interface with them and said, stop robbing me, I will be paying you monthly. Would that make them stop robbing somebody else? I made a point here. Who are these people? Have we stopped oil theft after the Niger Delta crisis? Have we stopped kidnapping in the Niger Delta because they paid them amnesty? So, an issue that you are saying some people are better criminals and they should be appointed as criminals and certify them as criminals. Is that what we want to build as a nation? Because the people you are granting amnesty means that you are giving them certificates to remain criminals because there was no pathway for them. No other pathway. So is that what we are going to associate with all through our lives? Or we are going to have a solution to the issues? So we are not finding a solution. Whereas we have financial crisis to deal with. We have economic crisis to deal with in this country. So where is the solution?
Well, Prof, I wish we have more time to even take some messages coming right now from our various social media handle, but I've been signaled that it's time for us to go because we have quite a lot of messages right now. But then I wish we can dive into a lot of these messages. My producer is still signaling that it's time for us to go. But then let's start this, Prof, to be the conversation of pain of bandits and also the insecurity issues in Nigeria as part one of this conversation, because we have to bring you back so that we can better understand where we are and what should be even to advance the cause of our nation. But at this point, I want to say, Prof, thank you so much for finding out time to be with us under part one of this conversation, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Well, viewer, here's how far we can go tonight on this conversation. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments with us on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.